Good morning. You're watching Forever Altered, and I'm really going to talk off the cuff today. I have nothing prepared in front of me, but I have some really heavy crap on my mind. So, with that being said, what I need to talk about today is information gathering and how we victims begin to notice that something's wrong, and then we start gathering information. And I've been on a long journey of gathering information about my narc and about his life and about narcissists in general, and all of this information to try to figure out what in the hell makes a person like him tick. And it'll be 5 years in June, so it's 4.5 years that he has been in my life, and just a few months shy of that he's lived in my house. And I have resorted to things over the past 4.5 years that I have never done in any other relationship, and I would never plan on doing in any normal relationship, but I have found myself doing it in this one because nothing makes sense, and so you're trying so hard to make sense of everything. And then, the beginning, it's like this person's wonderful, and then quickly you fall out of grace, and then from that point you're scrambling, trying to get back whatever it was you had, or I think not even really that. I think just trying to figure out why this is so abnormal. And once you've moved on to a point where it isn't you, which is a hard place to get to, but once you get to that point where you cut through the insults and your skin gets thicker and you decide that the truth about you and you're, whatever, then you just get to the point where you're just trying to make sense of it. I've gone through every possible avenue to try to fix the relationship. I did a video on Are You Cheating on Your Narc? It kind of had mixed reviews, but the point I was trying to make was we get to a point where we're wondering why we're even holding on. And in the case of the narc that will not leave unless you push legal action, and you're trying so hard not to do that because your nature is kindness, and so to push a legal action and go get a restraining order that would then prevent them from seeing their child, you don't take lightly. So nothing I have done I have taken lightly, but I have reached out and I have contacted previous girlfriends, and the reason why I did it, and it's been a while now, I did it early on when it was really bad, and the reason why I did it was because when I would try to tell him to leave, he was threatening me. He literally would threaten to kill me if I pushed that. He wasn't going anywhere. I had to evict him, and he would slit my throat, he said one time, if I tried to push it. And so I became alarmed and wondering if this was, is this guy talking or is this guy serious? And so I started doing my research, and I had already done a background check on him in the beginning. And there definitely were some things, but he had justifications and stories for everything that was there. And the stories that he told pretty much lined up with, I was reading court documents, and it seemed to be true what he said. So, I gave him this big benefit of the doubt, and I don't know. Well, here I am 4.5 years later, and I have, like I said, contacted previous girlfriends. They were like, run for the hills. One of them, literally, he has a child with another woman, and she literally said, do not ever contact me again. I want nothing to do with him or anyone in his vicinity. And that was that, and that should have been a big clue. But I don't know what I would do if I was in her shoes. I think I would have said more. I think I would have been more specific, but none of them were. But now, here where I sit today, I am kind of at the point where I can understand where they're coming from, in that if I ever hope to get away from you, you have to find someplace else to go. So if I'm warning people about how you are, I'm never going to get rid of you. And that is a terrible thing to say and a terrible thing to have to deal with. Very, very bad. People like my narc should probably just be locked up for everyone's safety. I truly believe that. When he's mad, he yells and says that he is good. He is good, like as if he's got such a battle going on inside of him that he wants to be thought of as good, but he can't be good. So anyway, the topic that I want to talk about is in our pursuit of information, when is enough, and are we really prepared for the information that we're going to find out or get a hold of? And I have a specific reason for saying that, because I have always felt like as if in everything I'm reading, like, he gaslights me, he definitely he sort of love bombed me, but he's a lazy love bomber, but then he discarded me, and I can see all these things about his character that are big. Yes, he's a narcissist, but there were a couple of things that I didn't really grasp, and that was I did have a little bit of an insight of him talking to a couple of women early on, but he has been, he's always guarded his phone ever since. I looked at his phone. So here you go again. I hear people say, well, you shouldn't do that. I would question the relationship if you do that. Well, when you're in a relationship with a narc, you question the relationship constantly because you're trying to figure out what in the hell is going on. And so, hell yeah, I looked and I saw this. And of course, he justified it. And the explanation was retarded. But and from that point on, I never could get to his phone. And I got to his phone 2 days ago. And I planned it, and I figured out a way to do it. He's very, very secretive. And I always felt like, he's a homebody, he's not cheating, and he's not a liar. I have caught him in a few times when I know he was lying, but when they say narcs lie constantly, I thought, I don't know if that really fits him. So those were the two areas that I was questioning. And now that I got his phone information, and I don't want to go into detail about how I did that, but it confirmed my worst fears. And I'm spinning because I just don't know what to do. I have some major life changes coming up in about a week and a half. Well, I guess maybe 2 weeks, right after Christmas. And a major job situation. But it's like the worst time in the world for me to pursue getting him out. And so my mind is saying, what do I do? But on his phone, I found tons of evidence of him cheating. I found videos. I found pictures. I found some extremely disturbing things, let's just say. Interestingly enough, what I did not find on his phone was not one picture of me. Nothing. No, there was no evidence that I exist on his phone, except for my phone number in his contacts. But that's it. Not even the few pictures that I had sent him of our daughter and I together. So he even eliminated those pictures because I was in it. So if that's not confirmation that you're working your tail off to try to make a relationship work, and you're losing out and missing, you know, a real relationship, and you're missing intimacy, and you're missing, you know, a partner, and all the things you're missing. And in my case, you know, you have a I don't have a strained relationship with my kids, but I keep them away from him, which means I don't bring them to my house, my older kids, and that means that I don't get to see them as much, and I don't get to see my grandkids as much. Why? Because I have a narc living in my house. And so there's something else I'm giving up. So I'm giving up all of these things, and he's calling me a liar and a cheat. In fact, yesterday I had a business meeting with a client, and I ended up taking my daughter to the meeting, and I told, you know, it was a dinner meeting, and I told the client that I was going to bring her, and it wasn't really that big of a deal. While I am there, he wakes up and he starts texting me and calling me a liar and telling me that I'm a liar and a cheat, and I'm really dropping her off somewhere so I can go meet someone. And all the while, and this is normal. I've put up with this for 4.5 years, always accusing me of stuff. And you know, my gut was telling me, everybody tells you that if they're accusing you of it, they're doing it. You know, but my heart somehow was still really hoping that that wasn't going to be true. And now I know it is true. And in one, I don't really want to be super graphic, but in one of the videos, there was a series of 6 videos, because his videos can only be so long. If you want to send them, you have to make, you know, smaller videos, or the file's too big. And so it was a series of 6 videos of him, of a girl performing oral sex on him. And he was sitting in the Mustang, the car that I bought him. And he was wearing a pair of U.S. Marine Corps sweats that were my deceased son's that I had given to him. That was pretty hard to see. And there were other disturbing things on there, which I'm not going to mention, but I'm doing some homework on them to try. I've already identified one of the people, and there are a couple people that I'm trying to identify, but it's very sad. The women are, I mean, the girl in that particular video is someone that she had already said several years ago, which this means he's been seeing her since I met him. So this particular girl all the girls in the videos were a continuing theme. There were about 6 different girls, I think, and this was just a small portion of the stuff I could see. And but at any rate, I think there were six different girls. And this particular girl was one that I had questioned him about way back in the beginning of the relationship, because she had said that they were seeing each other, and he vehemently denied it, and he called her all kinds of names. He said she had a horse mouth, and she had terrible breath, and he just cut her down left and right. And but he has a hatred for women. I mean, he hates every woman, and he talks about how he hates sluts, but yet most of the women he's met have been from porn sites. And one of the videos that was on his phone, there was masturbation, and he is in the video, and another man is also in the video, a girl and 2 men. And so, wow, this is a lot to digest, but this is something that I sought out to find, and my gut and my intuition was right, as much as that stinks, was right. And so now you're in the position where you have to wonder, you know, has he passed anything to me from all of this? I mean, you know, he's not super you know, once or twice a month is about all we've had sex anyway. We've gone months and months without it, in fact. So I guess that's a good thing, right? That's a good thing. But I'm still sitting here at the point where I think, you know, I probably need to go to be tested, because who knows, you know? So my question, how much information is enough? How much is too much? I set out to look at his phone because I did it for my own safety, and my worst fears were confirmed. And so, do I regret it? No, I don't regret it. Would I do it again? Yes, in a heartbeat. I would. When they are sneaky and withholding from you, and they are making your life miserable and calling you all of the very same things that they are, I don't think you owe them too much. You don't owe them respect. You don't owe them whatever. You just, you know, I think that whatever information you can find out is to your advantage and to your best interest. And so I plan on taking the information that I now have and being very careful with it, because I don't want him to know that I have figured out how to get to his phone. And so at this point, I'm trying to decide what to do. And some of the things that I saw make me think that I need to figure out something right away. But there are some, you know, narcs are famous for pulling you into their shit and saying, you know, doing things they're not supposed to be doing, and then telling you, setting you up to take the blame, basically. And they're also, you know, the smear campaign and the I know where your mom works and comments like that. And so it's very scary. And I can't, and so I'm forcing myself not to react like a knee-jerk reaction. I'm forcing myself to think it through, and it's very hard. It's very hard to look at him right now. And I'm trying to focus on how crappy he was yesterday when I was, you know, in this meeting. And 3 days ago, he had another rage session, and he screamed all kinds of insults at me. And I hit the audio record, so I have it on audio. And so I'm trying to keep my distance from him based on him thinking I'm still upset over that, because I can't even look at him right now. I just can't. So anyway, I would love to hear your stories. I'm thinking about setting up a Facebook page. I don't know what to do. I've tried to keep my crap like this separate, and so I really don't want to put it on my regular page, because, you know, living with a narc and having to live like this is not something you're proud of, and it's not something you really want people to know about you. So I try to keep it separate. But at the same time, I would like to be able to get a hold of people if they need to talk or bounce ideas or whatever. And so it's limiting when it's just me talking and some comments. And it just limits the personal interaction, I guess, that I think we all need. And especially those of us, you know, that are still in the relationship. So anyway, please subscribe to my channel. Please watch my other videos and leave your comments below. And I hope you have a wonderful narc-free day.